Hey guys, what's going on? So, I wanted to talk a little bit about free-to-play things in this game. And I don't normally talk about specific free-to-play things, but I thought that they've introduced a lot of things that I've actually really appreciated in this game that I don't think a lot of people talk about because everybody wants to talk about Bard. And eventually when Fortuna comes out, everybody will want to talk about Fortuna. And these are two things that as a free-to-play player, you're probably never going to get. And if you do get it, they will have already have released 7 other things that you will care about that are not Bard. In the same way that they introduced Sea Dog, and you probably don't even care about Sea Dog anymore. Because Riding Hood exists, and Genie exists, and Bard exists, and Fortuna's gonna exist. So I want to talk about things that you should probably care about, things that I feel like people aren't really talking about, or at least to the length that I feel like how good they are. I feel like they should be talked about more. Maybe it's just the idea that once you talk about it, you never have to talk about it again. Whereas like a thing like Bard, it just keeps changing with the times, and like as time goes on, it becomes better, it becomes worse. So maybe it's just a more interesting thing to talk about. But for everybody that's a free-to-play player, I'm going to talk about things that they've implemented into this game that I really like recently, as of late, that they've implemented into this game that I really appreciate, even as a person that does pay into this game. These are mechanics that I use, that I appreciate, and as a free-to-play person, you should probably appreciate it 10 times more than me. And that's my gauge on how much I feel like you should appreciate this. Like, if I appreciate it as a person who has the ability to pay into this game to get things, you as a free-to-play person should appreciate it 10 times even more than me. And one of the first things that I want to talk about is the Laboratory of Experiments. So when this first came out, I was using it every single second that I could use it. Obviously, whenever you do quests, you get, I'm pretty sure I already finished my quests. Yeah, I already finished my quest. So on the left side, this check mark, whenever you finish 3 daily quests as a free-to-play person, you get 20 tokens. When you obtain 60 tokens in the Laboratory of Experiments, you can pay into this and get a legendary unit of your choice. So it's anything out of the legendary pool. Obviously, you can't get Riding Hood or Tesla, Robot, Spirit Master, anything in the events. Those are specifically event units, and that's why we call them event units. And so anything in the regular legendary pool, you can put into your 5 mains, and then you can obtain those cards. I feel like this basically made them giving you Harlequin and Dryad to pay for. I think that this made that useless. So in this thing, they decided to, like a couple patches ago, give people access to getting a Harlequin or a Dryad for 6 rune keys. 6 rune keys are 6 legendaries. Do not do this. I maxed out a Dryad and I never did this. I would never recommend this. Please do not do this. Because they added the Magic Lab, the Laboratory of Experiments, any bad legendary that you get, you now have something to do with it. Anything that you feel like you don't want, you can either make it a crystal in order to up your crystal count, because as we know, legendaries can only be upgraded with crystals, as well as copies, but more so in an infinite sum of crystals. So if you have legendaries that you want to actively upgrade, like I really want to upgrade this Inquisitor to 15. I do want to at some point upgrade that Monk to like just 14 or 13. I can do that naturally right now because I have so many copies. Or this Riding Hood to 10, or this Bard to 8. You need crystals in this game. So if you get if you find yourself getting a bad legendary, you can turn it into a crystal if you have enough things to upgrade. If you don't have enough things to upgrade, you go to the Laboratory of Experiments, and that's when you start paying into the Laboratory of Experiments. I have 200 tokens right now for this, and I could just keep paying into this over and over and over. Actually, technically 3 times, because it's 60. I like that I did 3 over and over and overs, because that's exactly how many times I could pay into this. And I find myself in a position where I almost never use this until I'm about to run out of tokens, or I'm about to hit the cap on tokens. And that's when I start using this. When this first came out, I feel like people didn't. The thing that they would complain about is, oh, I don't get enough tokens. Oh, you only have you have to do this 6 times, because that's the way that they made this work. So the light bulb represents the amount of tries that you have the ability to take before you are guaranteed an actual pull. So there are 2 mechanics here. One is every 60, you have a chance to get to trade in one of your legendaries for one of your choosing. And one of your choosing is a lot of legendaries. If you don't have a lot of good DPS cards, you can put a lot of great DPS cards on here. You can put a Monk on here. You can put a Blade Dancer on here. You could put an Inquisitor on here. You could put a Bruiser on here. You could put a Banshee on here. And then once you get a level 15 legendary, you should be putting all of your supports on here. You should put your Banshees and your Scrappers, and your Dryads and your Harlequins and your Summoners and your Witches and your Trappers, because there's an infinite amount of support cards that you should be upgrading instead. And so there are 2 mechanics happening here. One is that whenever you try to turn one of your legendaries into this legendary, you don't actually lose your legendary. If they decided to do that, I don't think I would like this. If I had to theoretically sacrifice 5 legendaries in order to hopefully get 1 legendary, because they could have done that. And the fact that they let you keep the legendary that you choose to put into this is amazing. That's an amazing mechanic. And then second, when the fact that they gave you an actual cap, because this could just go on forever. You could just have a percentage chance. I don't even know what the percentage chance. Oh, you have a 15% chance to succeed. So from 1 through 5, you have a 15% chance to succeed. And if you fail 5 times on your 6th try, you will definitely get one of your 5. I think that's an amazing mechanic. For free-to-play players, for not free-to-play players, in order that this allows you to trade in anything that you don't care about, anything that you don't like, that you don't use, for either a crystal or a new legendary that you are trying to max out. The only reason why I even have a kind of a problem with this is when you finally max out more legendaries than you can put onto here. Let's say you have 5 maxed out or you have every legendary maxed out except for 4 legendaries. Then you'll start paying into this and maybe theoretically getting that extra legendary, but that seems like a way late game problem. But I'm gonna do this right now just to show you. So right now, I just got a witch, so it reset to 1. And you have the ability, obviously, to get it before the 6th pull. And if you don't lose anything. And so it's daily quests that you would have done anyway. The experiment failed. I get to keep the Dryad, and then I get to try again. You know what? I'm going to try it again. There is no loss to doing this. You can just keep doing this forever. And you could say, oh, I wasted time doing daily quests, but you were probably going to do daily quests anyway. This gives your daily quests a reason to exist. And that encourages you to do daily quests. Things that I wouldn't normally care about, that this gives you a reason to do that. And even though I spent 200 or 180 tokens, it's something that I wouldn't have done anything with anyway. Originally, you would complete daily quests and get nothing, almost nothing for it. You would get season pass tokens, and then you would be able to complete this quicker, and you were still getting that and something else. And that's the thing about free to play inventions that I really like. It's when they implement something into something that you already do and then give you something extra. So the other thing that I want to talk about very quickly is the right side on all of these events. All of these, every single one of these rewards are amazing, and they are free to play. And I feel like a lot of people can look at events as, oh, these are just pay to win things. Oh, these are just like, oh, they just want me to buy a Zeus for $1,000. They just want me to spend $180 for a Tesla and $180 to max out a Minotaur, right? And I feel like people don't realize that they're giving you so many free things if you don't want to do that. Even though there are so many events, right, that have so many different paying mechanics in them, like they want you to want to max out a Sea Dog and a Riding Hood and a Robot and a Spirit Master and a Genie. But even if you don't want to do that, and you're just trying to build up your own deck, your own legendaries, you're just trying to build up your Inquisitor deck, and you just want, mermaid shards, right? Here's like 2 random fragments. Here's another random fragment. Like, the fact that they give you epics in events is amazing. It's very difficult to get epics. And right? And the other thing about events is that even if you don't want to pay into events, like I haven't paid into Mirror Match ever since I started maxing my Tesla. I currently have 1550 tokens. I'm going to eventually free to play a Minotaur. Because I don't necessarily care about Minotaur, but I do like the event. So I am going to keep playing the event, and eventually, over the course of a large quantity of years, I'm just going to eventually just free to play a Minotaur, because why not? So the event is still doing something for me, even as a free to play player. So like, there was a half of this event where I really wanted a Tesla, but then there's the other half of the event where I really don't care about anything else. So I'm just going to slowly free to play a Minotaur. For the World Trials event, I really wanted a Spirit Master. So I have a Max Spirit Master, and now I'm free to playing the event for a Genie, right? So even as a person who pays into this game, there's still usage out of these events for me. The Festival of Talents. The fact that you are able to get all of these rewards. I feel like the mentality of people in this game is that every time they give you something, people want more. And the last mechanic that I want to prove this about is the fact that for commons and rares, they decided to change the way that you obtain the talents. They made it gold. All you have to do is spend gold. And the reason why people complained about this was everybody who had already maxed out all of these things with cores, they wanted to be recompensated with cores. They wanted all their cores back, right? And that just feels like a weird thing to complain about. Because over the course of this game, you get cores. You get free cores just from playing this game. The thing that I would always suggest in tournament is every single tournament, buy the chest of cores. For 100 tokens, you get 50 cores every single tournament. And over the course of time, even when you max out literally everything that you want to max out, you will just slowly obtain all of your cores back. It doesn't matter. This is the amount of cores that I have. I have talented everything. Everything that I possibly can talent is completely talented. And the only thing that I've been rebuilding back up is obviously my Technogenic, because I just upgraded my Tesla and I just used it on the Lightning Strike. And then I'm going to need 500 for the Megawatt. But everything else, like I upgraded Scrapper, I upgraded this Riding Hood to 9, and so I used up a lot of my cores. And everything else has just been me free to playing this game. Like, it just obtaining cores just because I play this game. The fact that they gave free-to-play players the option to just spend gold, I think that's a really great free-to-play thing to do. Making upgrading easier for free-to-play players that don't get a lot of cores in the beginning of the game, who maybe aren't completing events to get cores, I feel like that's a really great mechanic. So yeah, I think that there are a lot of... Oh, last one. Rush Quest. I feel like nobody has talked about this. Rush Quest is the best way to get epics. Any of the epic heroes are great. I think, like, except for Gadget, because I don't think Gadget has a home. But I think Snowflake has a home in Toxic decks. Snowflake has a home in, like, Bruiser Genie decks, because they want some interaction with their opponent. Mari is obviously great in Spirit Master. Mermaid is obviously great in everything, right? Any amount of epic hero shards that you can obtain as a free-to-play player in any way is good. You will use any of these epic heroes because you're probably not going to get legendary heroes. You're probably not going to get a Zeus or a Fortuna or a Necromancer. And so your next best option are epic heroes. These are your legendary heroes. These are the things that you're trying to actively max out to 20. And so the fact that they're giving you another way of doing a thing that you would normally do, which is just a harder version of a daily quest. The fact that they're giving you a daily quest and giving you 3 random epic shards and having this be a way that you can farm epic shards is crazy. Because even I, as a person who pays into this game, I don't have any epic hero maxed out. I have a Mermaid that's 19. I have a Snowflake that's 15. I have a Mari that's 15, and a Mermaid that's 13. I was spending a lot of gems trying to get my Gadget up because when I started, it was one of the best heroes, or it was the best hero because Zeus was so terrible. When Mermaid came out and they changed the mechanic of how the bubbles worked, I struggled very hard to get it to level 5, and I spent $50 into that, which is why it's so much closer to Snowflake and Mari. Snowflake and Mari, I've essentially been free to playing. I haven't paid into in any kind of specific investment into Snowflake or Mari, and just through playing the game for as long as I've played the game, they're now both at 15. I feel like having an extra way of getting those shards is great for a free-to-play person or for a not free-to-play person. And so, yeah, like, I feel like there are a lot of mechanics in this game. There are probably more, but these are just of recent memory that I feel like not a lot of people talk about. And I feel like all of these mechanics are very good that you should focus on especially if you are a free-to-play player. But even as an advanced player, I love all of these things. I'll catch you guys next video.